All right, so you've got your first Airbnb slash VRBO slash short-term rental. You got it on the market. Trying to get some people in there to rent your house, help you cover some of these bills. So at the end of the day, pictures are important. Location's important. There's all kinds of things that are important. At the end of the day, the $1,000,000 question is, what's the price? That's going to dictate how well you do getting the price right. And in this video, I've got seven strategies for how to price your listing correctly for your Airbnb slash VRBO slash short-term rental. Here we go. This is Steve. I'm with the Malone Realty Group at EXP, full service realtor in the North Georgia area, but also we have our first short-term rental this year and been doing pretty good on it. Not as good as we'd like, but I think better than the average. And this is my YouTube channel, so let's talk about it. Here we go. So there are probably a million videos about this. A lot of them are going to be better edited, things like that. However, I want to get you some tangible things that you can do. We'll break down the chapters on the bottom, so you can just you can bounce from thing to thing to kind of think about it. But there are 7 things to keep in mind when it comes to pricing. Okay, so I want you to think about all of these things when it comes to pricing going forward. Because if you do these things correctly and keep these things in mind, you're going to do a better job of not only making money on your short-term rental, okay, slash Airbnb slash VRBO, but you're going to pay your bills. You're going to keep it well booked. Not 100% booked, but well booked. I'm going to make the argument that maybe you don't want it to be 100% booked. Maybe that's not the best thing. Because if you get 100% booked, sometimes you got to open your place up to some $30 a night showings or $30 a night stays. And I don't know if you really want $30 a night stays. So how are we going to maximize the amount of money we make on our place? How are we going to do that month after month after month? I got 7 things. Let's talk about each one of them. Here we go. All right, number 1, when you're setting your rates, and at the very end, I'm going to break it to you at the very end. I'm going to tell you about using something to set rates. I'm going to tell you why in a little bit, but you want to use a program to set rates. But in the very beginning, I want you to think logically about why we do things the way that we do them. Number 1, I want you to keep in mind, the further out that you have your calendar, the more expensive your place should be, okay, for 2 reasons, okay? Number 1, if you're renting, I want you to think about it if you're renting. If you're renting in a place in the summertime, right now, I'm recording this in November. If I'm renting a place in July, June, whatever, part of the reason I'm doing it this far out is because I want a place, I want a nice place, I want to have a lockdown, I don't want to have to worry about it. That comes at a premium. If I'm going last minute and I'll just take whatever the heck is out there, it's not going to be as expensive as if I did it 8 months ago, okay? Because again, I'm doing it for a premium to get a really nice place, okay? Keep that in mind. You want to price your place accordingly. Further out, it's more expensive than next week, okay? Now, if you have people, and I've seen on some of our message boards that we're on, people push back on that. You get renters that say, hey, we rented 8 months ago, but now that we're here, it looks like this place is a lot cheaper. Can we get a refund? No, you cannot. Sorry. You rented 8 months ago. You paid for the guarantee of having this place. You paid for having the exact amount of time, the exact place you wanted. That comes at a premium, okay? Keep that in mind as you are renting your place out. Your prices are going to be more expensive further out than they are next week, okay? For the reason of that, you're selling that guarantee, you're selling that opportunity. But number 2, I want you to think about this. If you're going way out, okay? Let's say you're renting a place. If you're renting a place way out, would you rather have a whole empty calendar to work with, or do you have like a place here, a place there, like a day taken here, a couple days here, and you have to kind of work your stay in there? If you're renting, which calendar do you want to see? You want to see a wide open calendar, okay? Wide open calendars are more expensive to rent than calendars that have spots on them. Just the way it is. Okay, because that gives the buyer the opportunity or the renter the opportunity to get exactly where they want, when they want it, way ahead of time. That comes at a premium then, fill in the blanks. Okay, because if I've got 30 days, I have a 31-day month full, shoot man, I'll take somebody, if I want to have it at 100% occupancy, I'll take somebody super cheap on that 31st day. I mean, I really don't want to, but that's the thought process I want you to have. So, for those two reasons. Further out you go, so that's number one. The further out you go, the more expensive it is. Price accordingly. All right, so number two, you need to know your spot. Are you more expensive on the weekend or during the week? All right, if you got an Airbnb slash VRBO slash short-term rental in the city, wherever it is, first of all, check your city ordinances. A lot of cities are starting to crack down a little bit. But let's say it's in a place where a lot of people travel for business. Maybe during the week's a little bit more expensive than during the weekend, okay? Like let's say it's just an apartment in like, let's say downtown Dallas, which again, check with your local authorities to see how you can rent it. But let's just say in theory, you've got a place in downtown Dallas, nice little studio apartment. During the week, that's where people, they're going on business, they're flying in, whatever. Maybe during the week's more expensive and more people come in during the week than during the weekend. Our place is a little vacation spot up in the mountains. We get a lot of vacationers on the weekends, and a lot of times we get travel nurses and stuff during the week, or just retirees or whatever who travel and this and that, whatever. And they'll keep us somewhat filled, but the weekends are always full. Okay? So that being said, price accordingly. Our spot, the weekends are more expensive than during the week. And then if you're on, inside a city where you get more people during the week, then be sure that the week is more expensive than the weekend. There are ways that you can price them, but every day is not the exact same price. Because you have a place that is either better one time or the other, price it accordingly. Okay, think logically when you're doing that, but keep that in mind. It seems logical, but sometimes somebody has to say it out loud before you say, "Oh, that makes sense." But that's number two, and that's going to roll right into number three. All right, number three, defend the hump. What do I mean by that? I'll give you a perfect example. We get more people during the week, or during the weekend, I should say, on Friday night, Saturday night. Okay, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are a little harder to fill than the Friday, Saturday. We almost have every weekend full, okay? I mean, since we've owned it almost 4 months now. I can maybe, in those 4 months, I may have had one weekend where we did not have people up there, okay? So, but during the week, we have a lot of gaps just because it's more of a getaway place than a business type place. So I say all that to say, weekend, fine. We charge more for the weekend. We get money for the weekend. Now, I got to worry about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay? The worst thing that we can get is 2 days or 3 days right in the middle. Because then, let's say somebody stays 3 nights, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Then you got a Sunday night that, basically you can't get done. Thursday night you can't get done. They're going to stay Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday right in the middle. So, you got to defend that hump. Like the hump's in the middle. How do you do that? The middle is more expensive than the outsides. Okay? Sounds weird, but I have the Tuesday being more expensive than the Monday and the Wednesday, and then those are a little bit more expensive than the Sunday and the Thursday. The hump's in the middle. So if somebody's going to eat the middle, they're going to pay for it. What I want them to do is I want to take either this side or this side. Take 2 days on the one side, 3 days on the other side, or whatever. I want it to all average out to be the exact same thing anyway. So let's say it averages out to be $100 a night. Okay, so what'll happen is I'll make the middle day, Tuesday, 110. Then the other 2 days, maybe 105 on either side, like on Monday and Wednesday. And then I'll make Sunday and Thursday like 90 or something like that. So that way it still averages out to $100 a night, but the more expensive night is in the middle. That is to encourage people to maybe I'll tilt it this way, and I'll come 2 nights or 3 nights, whatever, and leave a chunk on the other side. Okay, so instead of having 1 3-night stay and having 2 1 days that never get eaten, I'd rather have somebody take 2 days here and then I can still sell the 3 days here. You know what I mean? So you want to defend that hump. On the if you're flipping that, and if you have people usually saying Sunday through, let's say, Wednesday, then the 3 days that you have are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So Friday is going to be much more expensive than Thursday or Saturday, right? Because you want to be sure that, whether it's a 2-day or a 3-day, you want to get that, that as much out of it as you possibly can. Okay, so instead of doing 3 days average of $100, I would make Friday, if this was my place, I'd make Friday let's say $125 or $130, and then the other 2 days would be $85 or something. That way it still averages to $100, but I want to be sure that Friday I get it, because if we just do $100 each day, you may only sell 2 and then you get 2. try and make as much money as possible trying to defend that hump. Because if they're going to take it, you may as well get paid for it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Defend the hump. That's number 3. All right, number 4, use the cleaning fee to your advantage. What are we talking about? You've got to go in there and you've got to figure out how much is my cleaning fee versus somebody else's cleaning fee. Okay, because at the end of the day, my place could be $100, the other people's place could be $100, they could be $105, whatever. But when you go into the final board to see how much do you owe, cleaning fee. If I'm charging, let's say, $100 for a cleaning fee, and the people, down the dial are charging $150, mine looks better. Okay, or vice versa. Okay, so what you want to be sure of, and a lot of the pricing strategies and pricing websites that take into account what other people are charging, don't take into account the cleaning fee. Okay, so there's a lot of people who kind of bake the cleaning fee into the price. So their price is going to look the same as people who don't bake the cleaning fee in. And they charge it's like $200 a night or whatever. So you have to go on there and kind of look and see what everybody else is doing as far as cleaning fees, and you may have to adjust accordingly. Like what we found is, I think we get a better rate of rentals when we have a lower cleaning fee, and we just bake some of that cleaning fee into the price. So we'll raise the prices like $10 a night, but we'll lower the cleaning fee a little bit. Again, you've got to play with the numbers a little bit to figure out what makes the most sense. But just know, you've got to pay the cleaning fee because you got to pay your cleaners. And one of the advantages of having a slightly lower cleaning fee is if you've got people that are going in there and they pay $100 for a cleaning fee, and you have some people going there that pay $200 for a cleaning fee, there is a little bit more of an expectation on the $200 cleaning fee than the $100 cleaning fee. So, again, this is all semantics and all kind of mind games and things like that we all play as short-term operators. But just keep that in mind. You can the cleaning fee can make or break whether somebody is looking at your place and hits the reserve button and actually purchases the days, or if they go somewhere else. Okay, so keep in mind as you're comparing whatever, what is your cleaning fee and how can you tweak your cleaning fee, one way or the other. And we could probably do a whole video on hacks for, and I've seen videos like this talking about the advantage of using your cleaning fee if you go high and use your cleaning fee as a way of getting people in, versus if that way you could say $25 a night. It's great, but if the cleaning fee is like $250, then it's the same as if it was $100 a night and the cleaning fee was $150 or $175 or whatever. But there are advantages and disadvantages. We could do a whole video on that. All I'm going to say is that number 4, know that your cleaning fee is a very important part of your pricing. You've got to compare where you are versus everybody else and price accordingly. I personally like to go a little down on cleaning fee, bake that money in, and raise the rates up a little bit on the other days. It's kind of how I see it. But I tweak that. I could have a completely different idea as far as that goes next week. We'll see. But that's the thought. Number 4, cleaning fee. Know how to tweak that to maximize your rates. All right, number 5, have a bottom number on your listing. Okay, it is very, very, we're tempted to aim for 100% occupancy. That would be great. Problem is, to get 100% occupancy, sometimes you got to sell some spots in some days for super duper cheap. And when you look at it, when you take out how much you pay a cleaner, when you take out fees, taxes, all that stuff, what is the least amount of money that's worth your time to have somebody in your place? Number 1. Number 2, is it really worth it? We've had our place for almost 4 months now, call it 3.5 months. I can honestly say the cleanest that we've seen our place, the best it's been taken care of, the least headache that we've had has been people who have paid a decent amount for the place. The biggest headaches that I've seen, we've seen, and I've seen looking at other people, have been from the people who are giving away the bargain bottom. Okay. Yes, and so our prices, all right. So during the fall, like during the week, our prices right now are ranging between $100 to $125 a day, let's say, to rent it. And then there's a a cleaning fee, there's taxes, this and that. So we look at it and we end up something, after we pay taxes, pay whatever, if we can net somewhere in the neighborhood of $75 to $100 a day during the week, that's good for us right now. It's more during the weekends, whether it be like 150 to 175 a day. But during the week, if we can be in that $75 to $100 a day, that's fine. If we get below that 75, it is 100% not worth it. I would rather it sit empty and not worry about the headache, not worry about the wondering, is somebody jacking up our place, not worrying about are they going to be out on time, all that stuff. Okay, so, but just know that sometimes bills got to get paid, and if I can drop it and get $50 for the night, $50 helps to pay bills. So that changes. But in a perfect world, as you're pricing your place out, you've got to know what is the absolute bottom that I'm going to rent my place out. Because it's okay. If your bottom, let's say, is $75 a night, and if I drop my my rate any more than this, I'm going to be at like $50 a night. It's not worth it. Let it sit empty. It's okay. Airbnb does not like hate you or drop you or whatever if you're not at 100%. If you're at like 75 or 80%, that's a pretty good rate. Okay, so you're still going to get views. You're still going to end up on, in the algorithm, all that stuff. You don't have to worry about it. Now, if you only got 25%, like whatever, then yeah, you got to work on it. But I say all that to say, know what your bottom is. Don't go below it. You don't necessarily want 100% occupancy. Unless somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm going to do like 31 days, I'll pay full price. knock me out. Sign me up. They won't do that for the most part, but they might. If you can do that, that's how you do 100%. Just know that it may not be worth doing 100% if you got to give some days away. That could create some major headaches, and that could create some bills that you don't have to pay. So it might be worth it to not be at 100%. Know your bottom. All right, number 6, get a pricing tool. Okay, we use Price Labs. Price Labs is great. There's Wheelhouse. There's a couple of other ones. Get yourself a pricing tool, and I'll tell you why. If you could hire a human being for 60-something cents a day, to go in, change prices based on how many people are renting in the area, change prices based on what your bedrooms are versus other people's with the same amount of bedrooms. Go ahead and update prices down the road, like 9 months, 10 months, 11 months. That way a new month doesn't come on. Let's say July would come on and you haven't tweaked the numbers, and somebody gets like a whole week in the middle of summer for like $25 a day or something. You have somebody who's automatically looking out for you and changing numbers down the road. They're going ahead and they are working with Airbnb and VRBO and the other platform that you have to update prices in both spots, update calendars, things like that. For only 60-something cents a day, it's a complete no-brainer. Get yourself, and I only have one property, best $21 I spend every month because I send it to Airbnb and I send it to VRBO. Okay, so Price Labs will do that. Are there ones that do better prices than Price Labs? There might be. Does Airbnb, they've got an automatic pricing feature. Is it as good as Price Labs? I don't think so. So there's ways, there's all different ways that you can do it. To me, Price Labs can do it. Let them do it, okay? Because the reason you want to do that is, and we talked about this, the further out you go, the more expensive it is. When you look on Price Labs, they do that. Like right now, I'm recording this middle of November. If I wanted to go and put in for the 4th of July weekend, holy cow, like mad expensive right now. I didn't touch it. They automatically look at holidays coming down the road and say, this is a busy holiday. Let's go ahead and lock it down with a crazy rate. Like if you want to get 4th of July in my place, already locked down, you're going to pay for it. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, and that's the way it is. That's the way it should be. Okay, but they automatically take care of that for you. That's one less thing you have to worry about doing. Now, what you want to do is you want to look at what other people are charging and just be sure that everything is right. Okay, be sure everything is in line. But use Price Labs or Wheelhouse or whatever it is. They will automatically do the work for you. And you can also set it to where as it gets closer, it starts to give a discount. Like I have one within 10 days. It starts giving a daily discount within 10 days if the place isn't open, or the place is open rather, all the way down to 25% off. So you can set, you can set your bottom. You can give a gradual breakdown as it gets closer. There's all kinds of things you can do in there. They have free trials. Go check it out. I don't get paid by them. I just use them and I like them. At some point, do I have to try the other ones? Probably, but I haven't had any issues with Price Labs to this point. I'll have issues if I don't have a pricing tool. Have a pricing tool in your back pocket. It's $21 a month. If you can't afford $21 a month to help you to make money down the road, you shouldn't be in this business. All right, $21 a month. Get Price Labs. Have it help you as an assistant set prices going forward. All right, and here's number 7. Price Labs can set prices going forward. They can set up, the drop prices, whatever. But there's a tool on Airbnb that they've started pushing in the last couple months called promotions. You can set a promotion with an Airbnb, and let's say I've got 4 days during the week that are not booking, like a couple weeks out, I'll set a promotion, and it's within the calendar tool. You just click on the promotions button, and you add a promotion. You can add like 15% off, 20% off. Now, Airbnb automatically says this is how much this week is. So it's not like you can change the prices to be like $1,000 a night and then do like 20% off or something like that. That way it looks like you're giving a discount on something ridiculous. I mean, there is a price that Airbnb thinks, and it gives you a discount off that. But what I've found is whatever Airbnb thinks the price is sometimes, if you do the discount on it, and I look on Price Labs to kind of see what the prices are, it's pretty close. Like if I did a 15-20% discount on Airbnb, that's about the number that they were charging on Price Labs. So what's the advantage? The advantage is on Airbnb, if you say like 15% or 20%, they will include in their emails to send out to people that, hey, there's this place in North Georgia where our place is in Talking Rock. There's a place in North Georgia that is really nice. It's empty this week, and they're doing a 15% promotion or a 20% promotion, whatever. So you can look at it, and by increasing the percentage, you start getting, it shows on your website that it's a 15% discount, or it shows on emails that there's a discount, or whatever. It's another way of reaching out and touching people. People are looking for a deal, like a last-minute deal. It's your way to show up and give them a last-minute deal. So keep that in mind. Play around with that if you're on Airbnb. The promotions tab, we've had some success with it. It's not a raging success, but anything that they can do to help us just get in front of people, which Airbnb does great, that's what we do. We take advantage of. So look at the promotions, play around with that. It's another way to get in front of people, show that you're giving value, but you're still probably going to rent it out for the same amount that you would have. It's just like going to the store. If like something's $1, or like on the next aisle, the same exact thing is $2, but it's 50% off. It's like, holy crap, it's 50% off. That rules. It's $1. It's the same dollar that you spent the back there. It's the same thing, but sometimes people are looking for 15-20% off. If they get the 15-20% off and it makes them happy, and you get it for the same price, everybody wins. So look at that, weigh your options, see what makes the most sense, but keep in mind Airbnb's promotion tool. That's going to help with pricing as well. All right, so there you go. Those are 7 pricing kind of hacks we'll throw out there. We could do this all day, talk about little ways that we can tweak it, but I want to give you 7 kind of granular things that you can do right now to tweak your prices, the mindsets to have, things to do to help you. The thing you always just want to keep in mind is your pricing is going to dictate how well you do, okay? If you price it right, they will come. They'll keep you pretty well occupied. You don't have to be at 100%. If you're in the 70 to 80% range, you're going to do fine for the algorithm, okay? But we want to keep the machine rolling along, okay? This is not the same game it was like a year to 2 years ago. From all the stuff that I'm learning, when I got in, people were saying like during the pandemic, people had nowhere else to go. They grabbed an Airbnb in the mountains. Like Airbnbs were printing their own money, basically. I mean, people were going there like crazy to get away because that's all we could really do. Just go get away from all the craziness. We had to get outside of our 4 walls, if you remember. So now Airbnb is coming back to the pack a little bit. A lot of people are buying Airbnbs, so they're thinking, yay, I want to be in on it, which is kind of what we thought. And now they're realizing, oh crap, now it's, I don't want to say it's oversaturated, but you could almost say it's oversaturated. So you got to be smart about how we want to play the game. We want to stay in business and we want to keep the ball rolling. We got to get pricing under control. if you have questions about like what you can do or what pricing makes sense or what should we be looking for like that, love talking about this stuff. This is kind of our secondary jam besides the real estate that we do. Love doing our Airbnb. We love it. It's been fun. It's been a learning experience, and we just enjoy sharing our place with people. So there you go. Hit me up, call me, 470-233-4409 if you ever have any questions about that. Emails below, contact information's below. This is Steve. Take care, bye.